That's good career.
You know I've been a boss for my whole career. About to jet in the lair.
And put more than my hands in the air.
Hands in the air, put your hands in the air. If you're getting money, rubber bands in the air. Never gave an F, you couldn't cancel my care. But if you look good, throw my pants in the air. I'm here, word to John Mayer. My body's a wonderland, my face is top tier. I swear, watch the eyes play, they be like I'm Gucci.
But don't shop there.
One time, press rewind. Trying to come above Nicki name, press decline. So much power in your mind. Yes, divine, take your change. You'll never be next in line. Good frickin' morning. Nice day to graduate. Oh, hello darlings, it's Tess. Well, the freshly washed hair is looking fly. At 6:30 p.m. this evening, I will be attending my official graduation of my undergraduate degree in screen and sound. I have been feeling just kind of negative and down on myself about how, you know, I could have graduated earlier, I could have done better, and I was iffy about it to the point where I wondered if I should even go at all. And I realize now that that's way unhealthy. So what I'm gonna try and do, and the whole process of getting myself together and kind of looking, I don't know, sparkly and decent, act like I'm feeling positive about it, then maybe some of that positivity will actually find me for real. Anyway, this morning I think I'm going to wake myself the frick up by actually going to Starbucks. I started going there to study just to kind of get myself out of the house, and now it's actually become quite a routine for me.
Well, that's not good. And that is not good at all.
I mean, Starbucks is definitely kind of a dodge kind of corporation, but then again, so many corporations of all of the products that we use in this capitalist hellscape are dodgy, so
You've been reading those communist newspapers again.
it's really unfortunate that we have to kind of go through life like this, but anyway.
It's just weird. Stop it.
I'm gonna take my reusable cup that is like way too freaking big and do like a little bit, I think, of work, not very much. But that's a good way to kind of appease the voices in my head that say that a day has been completely wasted unless I do some academic work or film-based work in there somewhere, and that's a really negative voice to have, and so pushing it away completely is a bit difficult, but pushing it away is really easy if I've done even a little bit of something useful, so that's gonna happen. First in the process of this video though, the first thing I did to get ready is that a couple of days ago I needed shoes that matched the dress that I'm wearing, and so I had to go and buy them, and I actually had to spray paint them the right color. And so before we do anything related to makeup and whatever today, here is that process, so take it away, past Tess. It is a few days before my graduation now. What the dress that I'm wearing, I've actually nicknamed it my Downton Abbey dress because there are a few dresses that Rose and a couple of other characters, but mostly Rose, wear in that show that looks really similar to it. Me and Mum went shopping today. I knew I wanted something that was an old style of a shoe that looks like what they would wear, because I've got plenty of shoes that are, you know, lace up and combat boots and incredibly modern looking, so it would not kill me to have an old-timey shoe. Long story short, the best thing that we came up with, a really common kind of old-fashioned looking shoe, are actually chorus shoes from dance shops. Like, maybe you call them character shoes as well, but like they're the little type of stagey heel that professionals wear, like Rockettes, I guess. But also, you know, theatre kids in high school have great experience with the chorus shoe. Thanks SNL for the perfect parody. Anyway, so I got them and they are super comfortable, but as you can see, they are a rather naff skin color. These need to be pink. So while we were in the dance shop, we also picked up this for something that I'm very familiar with. If your shoes, whether they're leather dance shoes or point shoes, a lot of the time you need them to be a certain color, and so there are brands like this that have special spray paint you can use to change that weird icky brown into a more traditional ballet pink. So that's what I'm actually going to do now, which explains why wearing the crappiest clothes, this wouldn't be a proper test video if there wasn't some kind of DIY process involved in it.
Pretentious much?
You guys have probably seen that my usual sort of aesthetic signature is 50 colours at once and sort of 50 aesthetics molded in together. So it made me feel a bit strange at first that I'm going to this amount of effort to create shoes that not only are heels, I'm not used to things matching. I wondered for a while, you know, is it really that me to be graduating and wearing, you know, sort of a pink Downton Abbey outfit rather than something purple or maybe even something multicolored. But I suppose you might not know it to look at me, or certainly to look at my channel, but just occasionally I like to go into one aesthetic that I like on its own rather than cross-reference it with a bunch of other ones. I just thought I'd mention that weirdly.
Shut up! Just shut up, you idiot!
Tan leather cross strap, the heel that is not too high, of course packed it full of newspaper.
Hold it over a sheet of paper and spray it along its full length, a light misting first coat in short bursts from a distance of 30 centimeters.
Everything complicated.
Okay, I'll have to try and do that.
It's genuinely quite stressful.
Do not use too much. Okay, jeez.
Settle down.
Sorry I asked.
Excuse me for being f***ing born, by the way.
We'll see how this goes. And here we have the end product, a shoe of which the Downton Abbey ladies would be proud.
Oh, that's lovely.
Definitely need a jumper though.
Winter is coming.
It's always funny to call it winter,
Winter is coming.
because in winter in Sydney it's like, make sure you put a jumper on before you go outside or you'll be chilly.
That's cold.
And then in other places it's like, it's winter, if you go outside you'll die.
Winter is coming.
I can hear people from the Northern Hemisphere laughing.
You don't know cold.
And winter is coming.
And winter is coming.
The dog sounds so pretty when it's played by angels. Even the frog is some ditty when it's played by a band program with any tune.
That plot summary right there made no mention of Cosmo Brown, and I will not stand for it.
Definitely no.
Absolutely not.
Decidedly no.
Amateurs. Okay, I'm gonna stop singing the idol rap now.
What's good, Korea?
Alright, our get ready with me moment is underway.
Let's go.
Got my lemonade here. Jesus, and the brush, wow. I'm gonna tell you what products I use, even though I'm just convinced that no one cares. Yeah, Tess, you forgot to name, like, a bunch of the products, so well done failing at a simple task. And so I've got things to talk about while I am filming. I asked you guys to send me questions that I could answer, and then I also went back through my Tumblr, which I've had for a crazy amount of years, to find, like, really funny, weird questions people have asked me in the past, so I can answer them now. Make a playlist of your top 10 songs at the moment. Lovely Head by Goldfrapp.
You're lovely.
Don't Kill My Vibe by Sigrid.
Don't kill my vibe.
Black Smoke Rising by Greta Van Fleet. Bitter Earth by Dinah Washington.
This bitter earth.
Oh no, I'm like forgetting every single song I've ever listened to. The Greatest by Sia. A by Beyonce has been really big.
Put some respect on my chick.
So has Freedom. Chelsea Morning by Joni Mitchell.
It's a Chelsea morning.
Hosier's new album, that kind of goes without saying. This is Lush Aroma Water, by the way. I mean, all of his songs have been amazing, but the one that's been particularly in my head is Movement.
So move me, baby.
Nice counting, Tess. The incredibly obvious number 10 that you left out is Idol. There you go.
Very good.
This is the MAC Pro Longwear paint pot in the shade Painterly as a basis for eyeshadow. Next question says, you watch Downton Abbey, who's your favourite couple? Sybil and Tom are kind of like way up there just because she was like feminist and kind of rebellious and ran off with the Irish chauffeur and they went to protests and stuff. Like, that's just kind of a dream. But besides them, I actually really love Rose and Atticus. Her and Atticus are like a pair of golden retrievers. Like, they're blonde and they're just really happy and they love each other and they have this awesome wedding and she wears the gorgeous wedding dress. It's just a really good vibe in general for them. I really enjoy it. I only own 2 brushes, by the way.
By the way.
Where's my brush, for God's sake? First, you're meant to put on a pale shade as a base shade, so I'll be using fairy dust for that. There was a random question that I got on Tumblr that I knew I wanted to put in this video just because it makes me laugh so much, which is, are you a clown? And it was anonymous. To this day, I don't actually know who did it, but just what a random, glorious thing to be asked. Clown. Am I a clown? No, not professionally, but I suppose a clown is somebody who wears bright clothing, kind of lives a life where they're trying to give positivity to people. So I'm a clown in my own way, but also the sad clown Pierrot kind of style, that is a whole mood. I love a Pierrot clown. I should dress up as one someday. Let's go with it. I'm definitely a clown.
So put that in your pipe and smoke it.
Wow, we've got a lot of eyeshadow sitting there, guys. Next question, what made you decide to dye your hair purple? I was just kind of ready for a change when I left school. So the moment I left, it was actually the day after my last exam, if I remember correctly. It was a very transformative moment. I picked purple just because it was my favorite, and I will admit I was a little bit influenced by this point by a beauty and fashion blogger called Belle Siccardi, role models of crazy hair. Then she definitely was an influence. Purple's the right one for me. I feel like it's kind of a transition color. In a lot of ways, like it's between a warm palette and a cool palette, and it has a lot of connotations. I should put up like a thing that I've read about color theory and what colors have traditionally represented in the past, but purple is usually represents like the royal and the creative and the unusual. I knew that having my power color permanently attached to me was kind of good for my brain. As you know, I have never looked back. Here we are, 7 years later, the hair's still here. Okay, it's now time to do the kind of outlining eyes part of this look, and I am very incredibly nervous.
I'm in danger!
Next question, another one that I love, like the clown one, is what do you think about aliens?
Foolish earthling.
I mean, I just love that I've even been asked that. Not exactly somebody who thinks that like, oh yeah, there's like Area 51 and aliens exist and all the governments of the world are hiding it from us. Like, that's a little bit crazy. What I think is that, to me, it's just as annoying as saying, oh yes, there are definitely aliens, it's a conspiracy and I'm gonna convince you of it. But then the opposite is like, no, they're absolutely not aliens. You know, that's pathetic. Why do you believe that? My honest answer, part of my acceptance of the world being as amazing as it is and kind of mysterious and gorgeous in ways that we don't understand yet or maybe never will, I guess I would say that that view of mine extends to outer space. And so I don't want to sit here and say that I believe in aliens as much as maybe other people say, but I believe enough in the hugeness and beauty of the universe that I don't want to say that there definitely aren't aliens either. I'm using the shade Blackout in my Urban Decay palette with this really skinny MAC brush, which I don't know the number of, but it's this little angled guy. Next question is 5 favorite movie scenes. And it originally was like your top 5 movie scenes, but I've decided to just say favorite in general because I have so many, and trying to pick 5 absolutely ones would mean we'd just be here for days.
Because I've got some things to say.
The scene with the butterflies in Jane Campion's Bright Star, where it's based on a true story, and Fanny Braun, who was John Keats's sort of great love, she gets a letter from him with the gorgeous quote, "I almost wish we were butterflies and live but 3 summer days. 3 such days with you I could fill with more delight than 50 common years could ever contain. Yes, I 300% have it committed to memory." Bravo! She and her little sister decide to go and catch butterflies in jars, and they have this whole like butterfly collection. Like, it's just the most incredibly beautiful thing ever. It's such a watershed Jane Campion moment. Like, that's the kind of beautiful choice that she makes. Like, she's just my idol, frankly. What else? I love the Dunkirk tracking shot from Atonement by Joe Wright. That movie's nearly 10 years old, which freaks me the frick out. Actually, it's 12 years old.
I'm surrounded by idiots.
Like a 5 or so minute long, completely unbroken Steadicam shot of the Dunkirk beach evacuation, and it winds through so many different scenarios, like these soldiers on this abandoned carousel, so that's kind of playful. And then there's a moment where they're all shooting the horses in the head because there's no room for the horses in the boat, so that's kind of horrible. And it's just so beautifully done in every level of detail. Butterflies, Dunkirk, the end of Fantastic Mr. Fox, where they're dancing in the supermarket and the song is Let Her Dance by the Bobby Fuller Four. That scene is just like pure joy. Crap, crooked eyeliner. I'm gonna have to fix that. Warned you I wasn't a makeup artist, I wasn't lying.
I've no idea what I'm doing.
Other scenes that come to mind, there's this great scene in Girl Asleep by Rosemary Myers. It's about a girl's 15th birthday party. I like every scene, but it's that when the guests are arriving at her birthday, they all turn up and it turns into like a disco, like they're all dancing when they come in, and it's just like super cool. And she's standing there with this big pile of presents like, what is going on? So that's super cool. I also love the closing scene of Beasts of the Southern Wild, and like in like a sobbing way. Like, it makes me cry like an insane person, but it's also like just one of the most beautiful things you've ever seen. Like, the determination of Hush Puppy to keep going after her father dies. Like, it's just sort of the ultimate I love you, keep going moment, really. Is that 5 movie scenes? I don't know, we'll go with them.
Very well, carry on then.
Next question is, what would you name your daughter if you had one? And this is like, I have this deep and absolutely primordial fear of the pain in pregnancy and birth. But if I do end up doing it, I know exactly what I'm gonna name my kids, because naming characters in stories has been something I've obviously done for my whole life, and I always find it to be an amazing process to pick the right name for somebody, and so it means that, you know, I'll be doing that for my kids. Obviously I'm gonna name them as real people rather than characters, but like, that's why I'm interested. My top 3 favorites are Cecilia, Violet, and Florence. Cecilia just because I love it, but also there's a Cecilia in Atonement, which is one of my favorite books. Florence after Florence Welch from Florence and the Machine. I just completely admit that. I mean, she transformed my life. The pair of books that this camera currently balanced on this shelf to make it a bit higher are literally Just Kids by Patti Smith and then Florence's Useless Magic, if that gives you some idea. Florence is literally like right here underneath where you are. And then Violet, it has a connection to purple, obviously. I wrote a story many years ago set in the Victorian era with a girl called Violet, and so I just became really attached to it. But also I found out after I named that character that my great-grandmother, so called Nana King was her name, was actually Violet Joan King. I'm like accidentally naming a kid slash character after my great-grandmother, which is really cool. In terms of their middle names, I would name her Cecilia Jane after my mum. Oh, mum moment, yay. Aww. This eyeshadow is taking so long. Frickin' what am I doing?
This is typical.
God, I wish I knew how to do like perfect blended eyeshadow.
That is a rare gift.
It's just the latest example of you knowing that I have no idea what I'm doing when it comes to makeup.
This is fine.
Whoopsie, dropped my eyeshadow.
I threw it on the ground.
It didn't crack, yay. Ooh, this could be worse. I think this here is kind of bugging me. It should be a little bit more blended.
Blending is the secret. Mm-hmm.
If you ever have been in any doubt about how fair my skin actually is, I remember once I had some foundation and I just noticed it was a little bit too dark, and so I got like special effects makeup, and there's white. I literally am mixing white like frickin' Tim Burton movie.
Your complexion is so fair.
Halloween pan stick flat makeup into foundation in order to make it fair enough to use. Like,
Close enough. This should do the trick.
you know that you've reached like Ice Queen of Narnia level of paleness, if that's your reality. Okay, now we need highlighter, boys.
Let it shine.
I'm still not good at this. I blend it with my beauty blender. I don't even know if you're supposed to do that.
There's a fair chance this is going to be disappointing.
Alrighty, mascara. Mascara.
Tomato. Tomato?
Who else has been just loving knowing that we're all living in a world which has already been irreversibly damaged by climate change, and if absolutely everything we're about essentially doesn't change within about a year or two, then the world as we know it, basically, that's it. Anxiety on a personal scale is bad enough, but this is literally anxiety on a global scale. Hi! I have to do my hair next, but essentially doing my hair is taking it out of its ponytail, making sure it's brushed, and putting a crown in it. Elizabeth Arden Ceramide Ultra Lipstick in the shade Peony. And then this is Urban Decay Rocksteady. Great as sort of an undertone for my natural lips when I just want to put a tiny little bit on, which as we all know is a great trick. Oh, I was about to say I forgot to do my eyebrows, but when I say do my eyebrows, I basically don't do them. That's another kind of fun thing I used to get made fun of for having such heavy dark eyebrows. And you know, since then, with the whole strong eyebrows trend occurring, it means that the kind of people that used to make fun of me for having heavy brows are now spending a considerable amount of time and money trying to make theirs look like the way mine always have.
That's how you do it.
Alrighty, time for perfume. This is Coco Mademoiselle that my mother got for me many... Oh, I just breathed some in. Oh, well done, Tess. That she got for me a number of Christmases ago, and it is sort of my signature scent. And dead set, the thing that turned me onto it isn't just because it was like, oh, it was Chanel and mum told me about it. It was because Joe Wright, director of Atonement with the Dunkirk scene I was talking about before, Joe Wright directed a commercial for Coco Mademoiselle with Keira Knightley, and I found a video online of him talking about the commercial and like the decisions he made and the story behind it, because even though it was an ad, like, because he was a film director, he had like a character in mind and like different stories about like where she had just been and where she was going and the tricks that they used to get the ad, like his cameraman Seamus McGarvey standing behind the camera with a white light to put these cute little artistic flashes into it to make her look glamorous when she was doing her makeup. So seriously, the thing that solidified my love of this perfume was a frickin' filmmaker making the commercial talking about it.
Pretentious much?
It is time to put my dress on. Dress is on.
I feel pretty, oh so pretty.
Mum and I got a rose gold headpiece.
You should see me in a crowd.
Well, there we are.
The end.
Could be a lot worse.
Hot dog! Hallelujah!
How to pose for the camera.
You're so good at that. I go like...
Beautiful.
Okay guys, we're finished and we're ready to go.
Shall we go?
The outfit is reasonably okay. I've got the dress on and the new rose gold headband and also this ring, which I'll give you a close-up of. And I'm gonna go, we're gonna have fun, right Mum?
Yep.
We're all gonna have fun.
I'm gonna not trip in these heels and attempt to be proud of myself. Cool? Okay. Oh, don't those memories all look so nice and put together? But me being me, of course I have to undermine them with the truth. Pretty moments can coincide with like silly ones sometimes at the same time, so got to graduate next to my buddy Trudy. That was super cool. And no, neither of us tripped. This is me attempting to stay still and keep my eyes open and try not to hate the fact that I'm in front of a camera instead of behind it, while my father lifts his iPhone far above his head in a game that seemed very strange at the time, but a flattering picture has emerged, so I should not really make fun, should I? Here we have me with mum and with dad, and yes, they wanted some photos with the hat on, and by hat I mean mortarboard. Mum kept talking about how that's the proper name for it, and I'd never heard of that before. Looks a tad silly, but it fit over the crown in my hair, and it means we've got the official graduation vibe picture. We're all smiley and yay. And then here I am with my brother, with the hat on again, except it looks a lot more crooked here. And yes, we are indeed twins, and no twins have ever looked less alike in the history of the Earth. And of course, the flowers being huge and purple, I just had to get a shot to demonstrate the fact that they were basically bigger than my head. And any excuse to hide my face. Alrighty, now you got the whole story. Hey darlings.
Darling. Darling. Darling.
It's now about 10:30 p.m. We got back from my graduation and then we had dinner afterwards. My makeup stayed on pretty well and the crown still looks good. I've taken the bead bit of my dress off though. But I had a really good time at graduation. It felt really awesome to kind of be given this strange paper proof of my achievement. I got to see a bunch of my friends, my friend Trudy, my friend Matt, and a few other people that I know. There's just some really exemplary humans that I've met in this course of my higher education, and it was cool to see a bunch of them when I didn't expect to. My object to try and force some positivity on myself I think really worked because I feel positive, and I just sparkled my way through the evening. I'm gonna have very sweet dreams tonight and move along into my next steps of education through the rest of this year with the knowledge that I worked really hard and did well in my undergrad. It's okay, I actually did it, it's fine. But I will see you soon for my next video. I love you, keep going.